Hello and welcome here on the Tunze YouTube channel. You see it around us, we are actually in the biggest coral farm in Europe. We are in France. Next to me is Guillaume.
Yes.
Guillaume, sorry. Being in France is always a mixture of France and English and a little bit German, and I have to get used to. Actually, if only I could speak French very well, this would be nice. We are here to show you this nice facility, how they do their job. This will be an awesome video. I'm looking forward to do this for almost a year now. It's now a great honor to be here.
I mean, we are not just trying to say we are the biggest and everything, but I think we are in terms of true indoor culture here in Europe. It's not just importing some mariculture, for example, fragging just a lot of corals and saying, yeah, it's culture. It is kind of culture in the sea, but here we are producing a lot of corals indoor here. We are making sure our systems are really clean, and we propagate corals here in France to sell high quality all over Europe.
Boah. And now you want to see it, so let's go.
When you come into the shop, the first system you can see is this whole part here. It's around 6,000 liters, something like that. And here we put all of the fish we import, so wild fish, to be acclimated here. And we also maintain reef quality water parameters, so we can also acclimate the corals that come in from the wild or mariculture. Because we want to be very careful to avoid any problems with the parasites, infection, etc. Because other systems we have are only for corals and are rated just no parasites. We want to be absolutely sure before one coral goes into these systems. We go through different processes, like different kind of treatments, antibiotics when it's needed, depending on the coral species, especially for LPS. Some of them are really prone to infections. So here, usually we don't import that much, but a few months ago we made a trip to Indonesia to cherry pick some corals. So right now we are just full of corals in this acclimatation system. We visited different farms, different quality to choose from a lot of different corals.
All the corals are coming from the ocean. You go to Indonesia, you go to the places they usually grow, and then you cherry pick some of them to regrow them here. So the ones you love and you think people in the tanks would appreciate.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're really taking the most expensive, the most special ones, aren't you?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be just the most expensive, but it's just everybody that has corals at home is a little bit of a collection freak, you know, they want to collection colors and shapes and etc. And I am the same. So, you know, and I also like the oddball corals, the reed species no one knows or that are not very well known, but just finding new color combos, new shapes. So we visited farms. So we visited some farms where they do a lot of culture actually inland. So they still use the natural seawater, but inland, mostly LPS, and we cherry picked here. And for acros, they don't really know how to maintain acros inland because it's too demanding of a coral.
Oh wow, okay, interesting.
But in the sea, of course, some of them are really nice, so we actually dove at night with a blue flashlight to see the different nuance of colors, and we picked the acros you see here.
And this is now quarantine?
Yes, now it's quarantine.
Quarantine, yeah. How long do they stay here?
They will stay here for at least 2 months with different treatments. Then we go in another system, which is still not the culture system, for another year probably, before we pick the one we want to keep and grow.
Oh, okay, so 2 months here and then another year, another system?
Yeah.
Wow.
This system back here.
Wow.
On this tank over here, it's only corals we selected in Indonesia. Here, for example, I found a nice mycedium with 2 different colors bleeding into each other, which I think is really nice. Also some favias with a baby blue mouth. Love this color. Not super present in corals. I'm trying to create a nice panel of different micromusa, so I selected different morphs to grow them here in France. We have a system where we have a huge UV, and all of the water that comes in the tank has to come through the UV at least once. So each of every single tank is kind of isolated from the other ones. So we put the fish in, we treat them outside of this system if it's needed, but usually it's not needed. We are very careful with who we order from. Once the fish are eating well and are clean out of disease, we just put them in stock and selling them from this system. We will see in another video maybe, or in this one, I don't know, the part where we do some captive breeding of reef fish, which is a new program we have for a little bit over a year now, and we are having some great success with different species, and we put some of them that are ready for sale in this system as well. So we can see here, for example, we have some file fish, the Acclimation tomentosus, and some damselfish, the Chrysiptera parasima with the yellow tail, which all of them have been bred here in Recifatum.
Before we continue the tour, what is your job in this facility here?
I'm the head manager of all the operation here. So there is the two owners of the company, Mehdi and Boris, who are childhood friends.
Yeah.
And then I'm the manager after them. So I handle all of the facilities, the water quality and production of.
So this is your responsibility, that everything runs here perfectly. Okay, so you have a tank at home as well?
No, I don't anymore because I have a child and I spend a lot of hours here.
That's typical for our business actually, so I totally understand. But you grew up with reef keeping.
Yeah, I didn't when I was little because I lived in the middle of nowhere. As soon as I picked up the interest and started working with corals, I knew it was the thing I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Wow. Since when you're working here?
Almost 9 years now.
9 years now,
Yes.
Okay. You're part of this success story.
When I first arrived here, it was much smaller. We only had a very small piece of this building. The total saltwater we had was smaller than just this system.
Yeah, oh wow. You know, it's always interesting to see the people behind it, isn't it?
Yeah, but I can't talk too much because I love what I do, obviously, so you can cut heavily. So next system we see here is the more shallow tanks. Here is only culture. So inside of here, we don't put any corals that we have in less than 1 year. So we are absolutely sure there is no parasites or any type of infection we put into this system. There is 6,000 liters as well. Huge table, 3 meters by 1 meter 50. We have a little bit of everything, some very classic stuff for the beginners. Yeah, so here we have mostly the very classic stuff, you know, your Poecilocoras, some different types of Monty, Stylophoras, etc. So it's not easy, it's not hard to grow, but it's good to have some beginner stuff, not too expensive for people who are starting in the reef keeping hobby and want to start with SPS corals that are easier to keep than like high-end acros or stuff like that. Here we have Acroporas, obviously one type of coral that is really popular and always a big sale, so we are trying to start some new morphs in culture, but it takes a lot of time. So all of it here is already colonies that are in our care for many years, some of them 15 years. Here we have all of the frags. Actually really soon, the 31st of October, we do a yearly big event, which is called the Coralhalloween. So for Halloween we do a monster update. Wow. So we try to go up to 2,000 and a half corals in stock on the website. And so here there is a lot of frags ready right now because I'm preparing for this big event to do a huge update. Here there is some of the mother colonies of the acro we grow.
Which one is your favorite in this tank?
It's always a hard question. I love them all, but it depends. You know, my favorites are switching from time to time. But one which is really classic, but I always love, is just the Jason Fox Fox Flame purple with bright yellow tips.
Oh yes.
It's a classic now, it's really well known and a lot of people grow it, but when it's happy and it's growing well, I think the contrast is just stunning. Next here we have more of the low light corals, so it's mostly uncrusting stuff. We have a huge variety of corals you can place lower in the tank where you have not too much light. So some other corals wouldn't fit in this space, but these ones, they will just grow perfect. So there is all of the encrusters, the ones that grow into like a bowl shape, like the favites. We have also the species that are a little strange, like the Stylocoenielas, some well-known but always stunning stuff also, the Micromusa Holy Grail. In this one you have a little bit of different stuff, also some classic corals like the Galaxia, but we have 4 or 5 different colors. We have all of the encruster Montiporas, and also like the Bernapora, Stutchbury, some Alveopora, some Duncanopsamia, a little bit of different stuff.
You could almost say, is there anything that you don't have?
Of course, there is an infinity of color and Mars, so we never have anything, but I'm trying my best to have them.
Cool. Wow.
And everything looks so incredibly healthy.
Thank you so much. That's because we are very strict with our protocols, so we don't introduce any annoying stuff like the parasites, disease, anything like that, which can ruin your reef tank. Because some of them are super small, so it's hard to spot, but it is stressing the corals. So it's something more they have to withstand to be able to grow. So if you get rid of all of these, you have much less problems.
So honestly, this sounds like 50% of your work is making sure there are no parasites.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. In the systems where we already did the work, it's no work at all.
Yeah.
But if we want to have some new corals to grow, it is a lot of work. We have to spend a lot of hours, and also financially it's also difficult because we buy the corals, for example, but then we have to spend the time before we can sell some.
Yeah.
So it's also very long, but it's really worth it when you see the quality afterwards.
May I ask you, so this all sounds like you are really selling the premium high-end stuff. So is there a secret recipe? I mean, the procedure to make sure that there are no parasites, is this something we can explain here, or is this your secret?
No, there is no real secret. Just with most of the SPS, we systematically do some antibiotics at first, because with the stress of transportation, and they can very easily carry some bacteria in the flesh, and if it breaks out, you can have some massive die-off. Some corals are worse than the other, like the glabrescens, the Euphilia, the torch, for sure. Everybody knows about them. But all of the LPS, I think, is really beneficial to give them antibiotic bath before introducing them into a system. So that's what we do. And then there is no special product. We just use, the regular dips, but a lot of different times, just to make sure we don't introduce any type of flatworms.
Yeah.
Because as you know, there is a lot of different species, some which are very specific to some corals, some of them which just can bother all of them. So yeah, we do a lot of different dips during different period of time, just to make sure we kill all of the adults that could be present, and as well as the eggs, which are very protected usually and are not killed by any products.
Have you ever had any problems with parasite in these tanks, or was it for 9 years it was always?
No, it was always that nice. At the very beginning, we were not as strict. We had some outbreaks a few times. It was a lot of work, but after I just made the most strict protocol, and so since that time, it's been many years, we didn't have any problems.
And now you stick to that plan, and perfect.
And it works.
It works. Only after you learned your lessons,
for sure. Here we have two-story system with 2 different tanks on top of each other, and here it's a little bit of a hybrid system, because there is some stuff that is being acclimated, so it's not sure yet, there is no issues, but it had already gone through a lot of different processes with treatments, etc. So, for example, here there is some of the Acropora we choose in Indonesia that had already been dipped several times.
7 times?
Yeah. I said several, but
Several, okay.
we are not too far from several.
So
We dip with anti-flatworms and stuff, but also milbemycin, which is a molecule that is present in the dewormer for dogs and cats.
Okay.
But it's great because it kills all of the crustaceans. And in acroporas, there is some parasite called bugs, which are crustaceans, and are super tiny but very bothersome for acroporas. So it's really hard to spot, but if you introduce them into a system, you can kill all of your acro. So we also dip with that for acroporas. Down there we have some of the last Micromus alardoensis from Australia, because they are planning to ban all export of wild corals from Europe. I don't know when it will really be impossible to import, but it's going to be pretty soon. I'm making a big diversity of strains that I want to grow.
Yeah.
So we selected some nice ones. They are being acclimated. Right now they look pretty good, pretty puffy, and really soon, we already have them for several months. Really soon, when I'm pretty sure, we are going to grow them into a new system we are building again, because we are always expanding as we need.
So this is your preparation for the ban? And you make sure that they are still available in Europe in the premium quality once they're banned?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
So this is your investment already.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we have some more Euphilia into a shallow tank. This one is really nice and has some bright yellow on one side, and the rest of the polyp is like orange with blue tips. Pretty cool.
This one with the yellow tips is...
Yeah, really nice as well.
Wow. Crazy.
Thank you so much. Also, as soon as Australia banned, I had a few Homophilia australis, called Scolimia also, left. And so I was like, it's the monopolyps, not really fraggable, grow really slow. But I know some people succeed in fragging them, so I was like, let's try. So I tried. And for now it's going really good. I don't know if we will be able to really produce because it's so long to regrow. But this one was fragged into different pieces, and you can see this part was cut, and it's already regrowing a mouth and the right side of the coral. Not much people do it, but I know some people who did and succeeded. It just takes a very long time to regrow. We missed this system, but there is some more acro colonies, and on the other side there is also some different chalices and zoanthus. Let's go to the next part.
Wow.
This one is a 5-meter reef tank.
It's awesome. Why did you set up such a huge, impressive tank here?
There is different reasons. Okay. One is because it's really nice, pretty cool.
So you don't have a tank at home, so you have a nice one here.
That's for sure. And the second reason is because this system is connected to a larvae system at the back, where we grow the coral we captive breed. So we wanted to see if the fact that there is corals in the same water quality would have an impact. Because we know in the wild, coral reef doesn't go without fish, and fish doesn't go without coral reefs.
Oh, wow.
So we thought maybe there was some molecules emitted by corals that could be beneficial for the fish. So we said, why not have a huge system where there is corals as well as small fish being raised. And the last reason is because with such a nice reef tank, we can have some broodstock in here. So we have some groups of fish that we would love to reproduce. Most of them are really hard to do, so we didn't have any success for now. But if you don't try, you won't succeed for sure.
Yeah, they need space, right?
Yes. They need also a lot of space and
height, right?
Height, absolutely. Yeah. Most species, if the water level is too small, they would not produce eggs because they need the water height to parad and stuff. So here we have a group of 7 Zebrasoma flavescens, which is obviously a very iconic fish and being produced by biota, but we would love to have a crack at it. There is also some reef-safe butterfly fish, the Hemipteryctis, which is a nice couple, getting along very well. And we are selecting also some more fish we can introduce, because for now it's still a light population.
Okay. How old is this tank? When did you set it up?
It's been 1 year and a half now.
1 year and a half, okay. The day has just started. We will do several videos here, and one of them will be installing the ORCA on this tank. I'm very much looking forward to this because, as you can see, 5 meters is, well, how much is it? About 12 feet or something like that?
Oh.
No, okay.
Cheeseburger.
A 5 meter tank is a challenge actually, and I'm looking forward to achieve it.
If I may say, it's a challenge, and right now it's okay-ish, but it's not perfect.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have some broodstock in here, we would love to be able to control the flow hour by hour, so we can change the settings when the lights go down, because that's when the fish are producing the eggs, and to be able to catch them. If we can, with the ORCA, just change the water flow, we could direct all of the eggs that are floating to the surface where we want them to go, so we can catch them and then start trying to raise the fish.
Wow. This might be the most novel use for the ORCA yet. Wow. Amazing. This place here is so amazing. It's a wow, goosebump moment everywhere, really. We just have seen all the coral breeding here. There are really many more tanks you might not have seen yet, but this would be too much for a single YouTube video. I can only tell you this place is amazing. I mean, look here, there's even more. Now the fish breeding section is starting, and this might be even more impressive. I'm very much looking forward to seeing this. What can we expect from this section here? You are not only breeding fish, but I mean, you are breeding the hard stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, we are trying breeding reef fish is really hard, so it's always trial and error, but we are having success with many different species we will see in a few minutes. You know, we are always trying some new stuff, so recently we succeeded with some dwarf angels. We are going to have a look.
Wow.
But yeah, you know, we would like to try some even more difficult things, but it needs to be tried several times before we are having some progress.
If you want to see more stuff like this, just follow our channel, and you are going to see the fish breeding section next week. So stay tuned and bye.